Welcome to Rant on Reels. I'm Michael Fooch.
And I'm Xavier Barnett.
Today on the podcast, we do a deep dive into the movie Us and Trivia Part 3. I give Xavier...
Final battle.
The final battle?
It might be.
No. I give Xavier 20 20 quotes on different movies, and he has to tell me what movies those quotes are from.
And I'm going to end this. I'm going to end your career.
All right, we'll see.
Yeah, whatever. I just tried to make a face there, but probably ended up freaking out everybody on the podcast.
You need to stop.
Well, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. We're all over the place. We're on iTunes. We're on Spotify. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram. We're everywhere. Like and subscribe, and if you disagree with us, comment.
How you doing this week, Xavier?
Well, I'm doing pretty good.
Get up to anything special?
No, I just went on a spirit journey to discover myself and find out my inner superhero. Because there's an inner superhero in us all, like Shazam. I heard there was an early screening of it.
Yeah, you know, I got a shoot out to my buddy Adam Weber. He gives me a text yesterday. He's like, "Fooch, have you seen Shazam yet?" And I'm like, "That movie hasn't come out for another 2 weeks." And he says, he texts back, he's like, "Then why is there a showing at Ancaster?" And I'm like, "What?" So I go check my Cineplex app, and sure enough, there was 2 showings. So needless to say, Weber and I went to go see Shazam yesterday. So I did know about it. It's a long way to answer your question.
Yeah, okay, that's good. And what are your initial thoughts on the movie?
You know, I don't want to give too much to our audience because I want to save it for 2 weeks when we do the podcast because you haven't seen it, and I don't
Probably hates it.
And I why would you say that?
Because you hate DC movies. You
No,
only like Marvel.
See, you know what? This is a
Marvel fanboy over here.
This is an absolute misconception. I do not hate DC movies. I've said this before on this podcast, and I will say it again on this podcast. My favorite superhero was Superman. It's not my fault DC can't make a good movie, or at least a good Superman movie. But I love the original Batman, Batman Returns, The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight Rises, Batman Begins. I do like DC movies. They just not the DCU.
Sounds like a whole lot of Batman and not DC. So
I
maybe you just like Batman.
V for Vendetta is DC. I'll give you V for Vendetta.
Well, he's reaching now, folks.
V for Vendetta is a fantastic
It is
movie.
a great film. I'm not going to lie.
But to answer your question, Shazam is fantastic. I highly recommend in 2 weeks when Shazam comes out, you guys all go and see it on opening day. You will be pleasantly surprised. It is by far DC's best movie. And, hopefully they don't get any stupid ideas like, "Oh, this movie was good. Let's start the DCU again." No.
Well, technically, you are a Marvel fanboy because Shazam is originally a Marvel character, so...
You know what the more ironic part to that is? This is a Marvel movie. It follows the Marvel kind of flow. It's comedic. It's got a good plot. They actually see what Shazam does, which the other DCEU movies do not do, is it follows a good plot. And more importantly, it's not about the action sequences. It's about story and theme. It's got comedic elements to it. And guess what? It's not pure darkness like all the other DC movies. Just a Marvel movie. Yes, Shazam indeed. So yeah, I highly recommend it.
Mic dropped.
I have a question. I don't think from our conversations you weren't really into seeing this movie.
Yeah, but I have DC left a bad taste in my mouth.
Now, so my question is, after me talking about it, are you more excited for 2 weeks from now?
Well, yeah, I like Shazam as long as I see him wear his little cape like this. For everybody that is listening to the podcast, I just put my hood on. Like Shazam would, because I think he looks so cool when he does that. Nice. And that's how I feel.
Anyway,
if he doesn't do that, the movie sucks.
Go see the movie. It's also very well casted. Mark Strong is the villain, and he is so good. I love Mark Strong. Yeah. You have no idea who that is, do you?
No.
He's the guy from Kingsman and Kingsman 2, the gadget guy.
Oh, that guy. Okay.
He's fantastic.
He's the one that died, right? And
yeah, we haven't.
Spoiler alert!
We haven't warned on spoilers yet, and here you are
God.
spoiling movies.
Oh my goodness, guys! Sorry, spoiler alert. Don't worry, we'll put a.
You know what, guys? I apologize. I'll kick him off off the podcast this week. We'll have a.
Don't worry, Dave will fix it. I'll put a little like time in code and be like,
spoiler
yeah,
alert! Spoiler alert!
alert at this time. Spoiler alert for Kingsman 2.
Other than Shazam, did you hear that Dora the Explorer is getting a movie?
Yeah.
And not only is it getting a movie, the trailer is out already.
Yeah, I had no idea Dora the Explorer was getting a movie. This one just dropped.
It can't be good, can it?
I don't know. We'll see.
Well, have you seen the I don't watch previews.
I saw the preview. It looks interesting.
So then you think it could be good?
Yeah, I'm shocked. But it's from the look of the trailer, looks more like a Tomb Raider meets Jumanji. That's the kind of feel I'm having for it. So we'll see what happens.
Anything else going on in the world of movie news?
Yes. So we all know that Disney has finally finished off the deal to acquire Fox's properties.
Dope. Homer Simpson now is Disney character.
Oh my goodness, I didn't even take that in.
So is Peter Griffin.
I was so focused on
the X-Men,
and the Fantastic Four going there. I forgot about the TV characters that are now Disney characters. That's very interesting. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, so a lot of the movies are probably gonna get strapped. Like you have your New Mutants, your I believe what was that? The Gambit movie got scrapped because they're trying to make that forever.
And I heard the X-Men are a couple years away from joining the MCU.
Yeah, they're a couple years off.
Yeah, let's get the bad taste of all these X-Men movies out of our mouths.
Yeah, we'll see. Plus, there'll be. I feel like the next, like they said, Kevin Feige said, Endgame's gonna shape up how the MCU is gonna change. It's gonna be a whole new era.
That scares me a little bit.
It's a new saga, man. You just sound like one of those people that just can't stand change, and they just want everything to stay the same.
You know, I am not the biggest fan of change. It is true, but
and you're liberal too.
Well, I don't want to talk. Do we have to talk about our political views on this podcast?
Let's just say that too.
All right, you want to get started into this podcast?
Yeah, let's dive into this. Oh, I forgot to mention, Deadpool is going to be one of the characters that is rumored to survive.
Well, he should. And stay on his own little path.
Yeah.
All right. You ready to get started?
100%.
Okay, so we are going to start by talking or deep diving into the movie Us.
But first, before we get yelled at, we want to mention that there's going to be spoilers for every movie, Us, Get Out, and any other movie that could be similar to it. So if you don't want to get spoiled by anything, turn off now.
All right. So let's start with our opening thoughts. Xavier, what were your opening thoughts on the movie Us?
I enjoyed this movie a lot. It's one of those movies where I was really creeped out and I was disturbed, but I wasn't like, oh, this is a terrible disturb. Like, it's that kind of unpleasant feeling where you're like, wow, this is messed up, but I cannot stop watching. Kind of like a train wreck. Like you can't stop. It's weird and sad, but you can't stop staring at it, right?
Did you just say you like to watch a train wreck?
I didn't say I like to watch it. I just said you can't stop watching. Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Are those all your opening thoughts?
I could go into more, but I want to hear yours.
Well, I'm going to agree with some of what you said, not necessarily the train wreck part, but I thought, Jordan Peele has a lot of what it takes to make a great movie. He's got it down packed, and it just hums like a great engine. Like, the characters, not only the characters themselves, but the development of those characters is fantastic. The concept of the movie is great. I found it at least very original in terms of at least the last 30 years. Nothing very similar to it. The music was great. You talked about the suspense. I thought that was great. It was creepy. Not scary, but creepy.
Yeah.
The themes that you can pull from it are great. And even the dialogue of the characters, adding some comedy to it, it was just really, really well done. I think the only thing Jordan Peele needs to work on in his movies is to learn to put it all together in that third act. He needs to clean up that plot. I really felt the third act dragged a little bit, and it didn't finish the story to a satisfactory point of view for me. So those are the things that I liked and I didn't like. And the acting, I forgot to mention that. The acting was fantastic as well.
The acting was phenomenal. I was just, wow.
Okay. Anything you want to add to our opening thoughts?
No, I agree with most of what you said.
Okay. So let's move on to the deep dive into this movie. So the movie starts in 1986, where we get our young main character, Adelaide, at a beach amusement park with her parents. And her dad is playing this carny game where he throws like a baseball up against those like stacked
cans.
Yeah,
down.
the cans. And he wins his daughter Adelaide a Thriller T-shirt.
Thriller.
Yeah, little.
I kept thinking, I'm like, man, people are probably gonna get triggered by that.
I hope not.
Seeing that Michael Jackson since that little episode, but
what do you think of the dad? Because I feel like he was like a drunk.
Yeah, he kind of seemed like he didn't. It seemed like he didn't really pay much attention to his kid, and he seemed like the kind of dad that's like, oh man, I have a kid. This sucks. Let me just try and have a good time. And
he's like playing the games not for her. He's playing the games for himself.
Yeah, it's not. He's not trying to win for her. He seemed kind of nice. I kind of liked him because I remember him from the show on Netflix called Get Out. So it was nice seeing him again. I hope I see more of him, but he didn't really have that major of a role.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So after he wins this T-shirt, the mom has to go to the washroom and says to the dad, "Watch your daughter." And he ends up going to play a game, and she wanders off. And she ends up wandering off into a fun house and the hall of mirrors, or the area of mirrors in this fun house. And the power goes out, and she sees her reflection, and then she sees the back of her head, which is kind of creepy because normally when you look at a mirror, you're supposed to see your face.
Yeah.
But she sees the back of her head, and then the back of the head turns around, and she's staring at herself.
Ooh. What's going on here?
She screams, and then it cuts
to black.
And now the parents are talking to a shrink, and apparently Adelaide has been traumatized. She doesn't speak, and she can't describe what happened to her.
Yeah.
So they encourage her to go into dance, to the arts, to learn how to communicate.
Yeah. They'll give her some confidence in how to come back into society.
And then we get into the credits of the movie, which is like rabbits, and then this ridiculous music.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the music was, but it was so perfect for this genre of movie.
Yeah. That is the music selection is amazing for this genre.
Peel's hit the just fantastic. So what did you think of the introduction of this movie?
Interesting. I was engaged. From our last movie, which was long and a snooze fest.
Yeah, our last episode was a couple of snoozy movies.
Yeah, this one it was very refreshing to see. I'm like, okay, I'm engaged. What's going on here? The Jordan Peele movies, I like watching because it always gives me a sense. I'm like, there's always something more underneath the surface, right? So I'm like, okay, it's time to start paying attention because everything matters with his kind of movies, right? He pays a lot of attention.
Yeah,
to that.
Kind of like a Christopher Nolan, right?
Yeah.
Everything in that movie is there for a reason. You got to make sure you watch it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to pay close attention. You can't miss things. So after the credits, we go to the present day, and Adelaide is now an adult. She's married to a man named Gabe and has 2 kids, Zora and Jason. And they're on their way to a vacation at Adelaide's family's beach house in the same area where she had this traumatic experience. And basically the next 5 to 10 minutes of the movie is an introduction of the family. We have Zora, who's like a typical teenager. She's a runner.
Track star.
Yeah, Jason, he's kind of the weird one. Yeah. He's always wearing the mask. And he's trying to always do magic.
Yeah, the gorilla mask and play with magic. Weird kid, but I was weird when I was growing up
cute,
too.
But weird.
So,
And then Gabe is this loving dad who's kind of eccentric. He buys a boat.
Yeah.
and just
to compete with the neighbors,
yeah,
typical neighbor stuff.
yeah, yeah. And then you have Adelaide, who's now acting weird,
Hmm.
right? And it's possibly because of what happened when she was a kid, but she's very uncomfortable in being in that place, doesn't want to go to the beach, etc., etc. But clearly, she loves her children.
Yes.
Okay.
She would do anything for her kids.
Anything.
That's the sense you get.
So she's talked into going back to that beach, and when she's there, she's very uneasy. She's on edge. She's not really focused. The family friends, the Tylers, you have Kitty and Josh and their two kids, Becca and Lindsay, they're twins.
Hmm.
They're there, and she's kind of like in and out of any conversation.
Yeah, you can get that sense, right? I loved that style of film too. That you knew that was happening with her because she wasn't saying anything, but it kept cutting her voice of the person that was talking to her kept getting lower or higher at certain times, right? So that gave you the sense that hey, she's actually not really engaged. So
Not at
that was
all.
something that I picked up on, and I thought it was like, wow, this is very interesting for the movie.
Now, did you assume the Tylers were like the best friends with this family, or they're just like casual friends?
I assumed they were just not best friends, but people you associate with but don't really like. Like your friends that you would compete with because you want to compare, be like, hey, I want to be better than this person. That's it. I never understood that. I never had it. I would have a friend like that, but there are people in the world that are like that, right?
See, I gathered they were like best friends because in order to get Adeline to go, Gabe says like his father had died or his grandfather died or something
Hmm.
like that to bring him to kind of guilt her into going.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think there's a little bit of both. I think it's like a best friend that you kind of compete with.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
While they're there, the twins make fun of Jason because he is
Yeah,
weird.
he's weird. They smashed his sandcastle.
Yep. And he ends up wandering off to go to the washroom. And nothing crazy, but as he's wandered off, Adelaide realizes that he's gone, and she starts having this fit. Where's
Yeah.
Jason? Where's Jason? Where's Jason?
He's running around all over the
Look,
place.
and when she sees him, he's like, "You can't do that to me."
But keep in mind while Jason's lost, he sees a man that's sitting in a T form in the middle of the beach, just sitting by him, not sitting, standing by himself, with his arms spread out and his hand is bleeding.
Yeah, but is that really relevant to the plot, or is that just there to like scare the audience or freak out the audience to make it's like a smoke and mirrors. We're supposed to think something's gonna happen there, but it never does.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. It's a smoke and mirrors. But
Do you think the beach sequence is important to this movie?
that's a good question. I think it was showed. I think it's important because it shows that she's super uneasy. She wants to protect her child. It shows us how much she wants to protect her children, right? What she would do to protect them. So
Introduces us to the
yeah,
Tylers too, who are a decently big role in this
yeah,
movie.
that too.
Yeah, it gives us some background as she's still
Hmm.
traumatized by this experience by the experience when she was a kid.
Yeah, it shows. I'm not gonna lie. For that scene foreshadows a lot. Not foreshadows, but shows us a lot of important things that will happen later on in the movie.
Okay. So that takes us to our first night, where we have first contact with the people that look like them. So after putting the kids to sleep, Adelaide confides in her husband about her childhood trauma.
Hmm.
He doesn't believe her, like a normal person wouldn't believe her. And as they're making this discussion, the power goes out. And they notice there are four people outside the house in red jumpsuits. So the couple have a very different approach to this. Adelaide wants to call the cops, and Gabe's like, "I'm gonna go talk to them." So I guess the question becomes, what would you do?
Honestly, you could call the cops, but if they're not on your property, they're like standing outside and they're just standing like that. Most cops are gonna be like, "Oh, they're not doing any harm. They're just standing there." I mean, that'd be creepy to me, but they're not gonna do anything. So until they, unfortunately, look like a threat, the cops aren't gonna really do anything. So probably the best choice is to talk to them.
So you would do what Gabe did.
Yeah. Reluctantly, I wouldn't want to do it, but
if we were in that situation, I would be Adelaide. I'd be calling the cops.
yeah,
That's creepy. In the middle of the night? This isn't like, like 4 o'clock in the afternoon and they're doing this.
I know.
Anyway, Gabe confronts them, but nothing happens. Again, it's kind of a little smoke screen.
Mm-hmm.
And the 4 of those people, they start running around trying to find a way into the house. And one of them finds the hide key and opens the door, and Gabe goes to kind of keep it shut, and he ends up getting hit with with an aluminum bat. And I don't think he breaks his leg, but he definitely he really bruises his knee or hurts his knee, so he's limping for the rest of the movie. And the family gets cornered in the living room, and then we see the 4 people come in, and each one of them look like each member of the family. And the one that looks like Adelaide, her name being Red, starts talking in this creepy voice.
Wow, that voice was very well done.
Oh my god, so good.
I was like that. I hated that voice was so creepy, but it kept me engaged. I'm like, whoa.
And a lot of them mirrored each other. When someone did something, when someone did touch their face, the one on the other side would do something very similar to that. Mm-hmm. Now, Red calls themselves the Tethered. Mm-hmm. They're tethered to each other. And we see that each member of the family is the opposite. And Red, she basically gets every one of her family members to chase and isolate every one of the family members of Adelaide. So Adelaide gets handcuffed to a table. Zora is instructed to run, and her untethered Umbrea chases her around the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Gabe is dragged outside by his doppelganger, or untethered, Abraham. And then Jason is taken by Pluto, his doppelganger, to the closet.
Hang out and just play with fire.
Okay. So here's my question to you. At this moment in the movie, without any hindsight, mm-hmm. what did you think was going to happen? Did you think that these untethered were trying to kill them all? Or was there something bigger going on here, did you think?
I didn't think they were trying to kill them yet. I thought they were just trying to hide them and replace them. Well, actually, what I thought was going to happen was I thought they were going to kill them and then replace them. That's what I would say.
See, I was with you. I thought I could have seen them killing them and then replacing them, or hiding them and replacing them. I could have seen either one of those. At this point in the movie.
Yeah, I feel like the kids they would just hide, and then the parents they would kill off.
So here's my question to you: then, if we both agree that they're going to kill them or hide them to replace them, mm-hmm. why do they play with them? Why do they toy around with them? Why not just do that to begin with?
That was one of the questions I actually did have, and something that I didn't pay attention. I'm like, okay. When I was watching the movie, I was like, okay, yeah, why don't they just kill them now? What is going on here, right? And on top of that, I thought they either was gonna kill. Their motives was just simply jealousy. I thought they were just jealous of the life they lived. Because she explains her story of what happened to her and how she lived her life, and it was a terrible life. So I thought, okay, so it's jealousy of what happened, right? But yeah, I wouldn't be able to explain why they killed that, why they wouldn't kill them just then and there. Maybe they're crazy and they like to play with their food before they eat. So who knows?
Well, because they decide to play with them, each member of the family is going to escape their doppelganger. Mm-hmm. Gabe is able to break out of the garbage bag that he was on this boat that he bought, and he's able to knock Abraham into the water, which he falls into too.
Yeah.
And as they're struggling to get back onto the boat, Abraham is able to get Gabe is able to get Abraham's face to hit the propeller to kill him dead.
Yeah. I thought it was his bottom pieces, his legs and everything.
No, I thought it was his face that hit the propeller. Oh. I'm pretty sure it was the face.
Oh, okay.
Either way, hits the propeller and he dies.
He dies, yeah. I thought clearly they weren't the brightest people either. The tethered.
Oh no, they're not bright at all.
Except for Red. Red seemed to be the only one that had some
kind of plan.
Well, she was the only one that could formulate a sentence. So
as we find out from these 4, so Zora gets saved by accident by her neighbor when the neighbor kind of intervenes in Umbrea's attempt to kill her.
Yeah.
And then is able to run back to the rest of the family. Jason is saved when his magic trick finally works. And it kind of hits a spark and it distracts Pluto and he locks him in the closet. And Adelaide gets saved when Pluto is crying for help in this locked closet, and Red goes to his aid, and then she's able to break out of her out of the table, and the three of them go to Gabe on the boat, and they escape to the other side. Do you think these escapes were believable?
No, it was way too early in the movie. You knew we'd see them again, just because. Like I'm like, oh, okay, so the movie's gonna be 45 minutes.
No. Do you think they were believable how they all got away, or was it kind of forced? It was like, really, you got away from them this way?
Not really. It makes sense because obviously, clearly, like I said, they didn't seem that intelligent. So the way Gabe escaped seemed believable to me because the guy wasn't really like, like driving the thing, making these weird noises, right? So like, and he's not checking. He's like, this guy, he knocked out. I did it, right? So him dying makes sense. The girl, just by her eyes, you can tell on Umbrea, just by her eyes, and honestly, that was the best. I think that was the most creepiest smile I've ever seen in my life. But just by the way she moved, you could tell she liked to play before she killed someone. Before she killed, right? She said she was a monster. So usually when someone's a monster, they don't just kill. They kill for fun. So they want to play
absolutely.
For food, right?
Play with their food.
Yeah. Pluto seemed the most reasonable out of all of them. Because, he seemed like he actually liked Jason and didn't want to kill him. They were hanging out. They would fade. They'd copy heat. And plus, I think when you're younger, obviously this is just a huge speculation and a theory, but I think the youngers are more prone to copy the tethered movement than, say, the older ones. Because Pluto seem to mirror a lot more than the other ones, right?
It's true. You are absolutely right.
And then Red, she got distracted. Because he had to help Pluto.
Yeah. So which of the doppelgangers did you enjoy the best in this movie, of the four of them?
The four? I think I really liked Pluto. Because he was interesting. And I really liked Umbrea.
See, Pluto would be at the bottom of my list. I loved Umbrea. I thought the smile.
Yeah.
Creepy smile. So well done. That actress has a future. I really think that.
She has a very bright future.
I think her name's Shahadi Wright Joseph.
Yeah.
I think she's going places. That was a great creepy smile.
Yeah.
But again, little girls tend to have those creepy smiles.
That is very true.
So we get away from the Wilsons, this Adelaide's family, and we go back to the Tylers on the other side of the lake. And Kitty, the mother, thinks she sees something, and is telling her husband Jason to go look for Josh to go look outside to look for help. And he ends up saying, "There's nobody here. Don't even worry about it." And then tells his okay Google or whatever that equivalent is.
They had their Alexas and Google Plays, but it wasn't that.
Yeah, I guess they didn't.
So
I guess
they
they
didn't
didn't
have
have
license for that.
to basically play Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys. So all you hear is Good Vibrations, and as that's going on, all four of the tethered come and they just immediately kill each one of the Tylers.
Yeah.
And we forgot, not only are they wearing red suits, they have huge scissors that are
shears that just kill people with.
That's how they kill them all. I guess to untether themselves, they cut the shear.
Yeah, and at this point, when your question came out was why didn't they just kill them? When I saw that, I'm like, why didn't they just kill them like that? Right?
And that was my thought process too. And one of the things I was really focused on. I'm like, these ones don't sit them down and talk to them and give the whole life story.
Yeah.
So I was like, what do you think the point is of this? And I don't really know if I had a theory at the time. I was kind of confused by this.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, I don't know if I was like, I'm like, I think we're going down the Get Out path over here, right? That's what I was feeling so far at that point.
So what do you think the purpose of this scene was? To show or the Tyler's death.
The movie or
no, at this time.
At this time, yeah, okay. At that time, I'm like, okay. I'm like, what's really the? So I guess there's more people that are coming on. So I guess there's more people that are getting killed. Like, I was very confused.
See, I thought that the point of that sequence was very simple. I didn't see a preview of the movie, so I thought it was only Adelaide's family that was going to be affected by this. I didn't think it was going to be more. This scene its purpose is simple.
That's not in the preview either, though.
Like, it is not.
Them doing so. Like, I didn't. That's another thing. The preview doesn't show that much. About this movie. So
but I think that's the purpose of this scene, to show this is not just the Wilsons. This is everyone.
Yeah.
There's more of this going on, because the one thing in this when Adelaide does call the cops and they say they'll be there in 14 minutes. But 14 minutes passes from when she calls the cops to they escape on that boat. Mm-hmm. And they don't come, and you're like, where the hell are the cops? This will help add up to this, because this is clearly going to other places. The cops are busy. Mm-hmm. So that's what I think the point of this scene is.
Yeah, for me, I was just like, what's going on here?
Yeah. So the Wilsons end up going to the Tyler's place because they're friends. Mm-hmm. And the Wilsons are forced to kill all the Tyler's doppelgangers. So Gabe kills Josh, his buddy. Mm-hmm. Zora kills the twins, or she thinks, and Adelaide will have to kill one of them later on. Yes. And Jason kills Kitty. So after they kill all these people, they take a look at the news. They see that, oh my God, this is going all over the place.
Yeah.
This isn't just the lake; it's all over the area, or all over the U.S., or all over the world. I
don't think it's the world. I think it's only the U.S. because at the beginning of the movie, it talked about how no one knows what the tunnels for the U.S. system. So I feel like it'd only be the U.S.
Okay, that's fair. Okay. And we get this idea that they're forming this massive human chain where they're holding hands.
Yes.
Okay. So Adelaide sees this and like, we're leaving. We're going out of here.
Yeah, we're out of here. We're going to Canada.
Yeah, well, see, it's fun that you say Canada, but I'll come back to that in a minute.
This doesn't happen in Canada. People don't come out and just murder you doppelganger.
So Adelaide, they get into the car. But Zora's in the driver's seat, says, "I'm driving," and they're like, "No, I'm not. You're not driving." And Zora's like, "I've killed the most people. I've killed 2." And
she got the highest kills count.
The fifth, this is a great discussion. And Gabe's like, "No, I've killed 2," and Adelaide's like, "Well, I technically killed one of your 2, so it's like 1, 1, 1, 2." Mm-hmm. But as they're having this discussion, Umbrea arrives and Adelaide jumps into the car. Zora tries to run her down. She ends up getting on top of the car, and Zora takes off. Yeah, Zora takes off as fast as she can, hits the brakes, and she flies out of the car off the
right
roof.
Into the trees,
and she dies.
Yeah, that scene I was very impressed by. Like, she was still able to keep that smile and just like try and reach out for her and like look like she's trying to kill her. I'm just like, wow,
so
how crazy they were.
Yeah, so they end up going to the boardwalk. And this is where I think the movie starts to kind of, or Peele's script kind of starts to fail. Because I think that they should be leaving the city, right? Not going into the heart of the city. They saw the news, right?
Yeah.
The news said this is the place where everything bad's happening. Why did they drive? And this is the place where, she had her experience. Mm-hmm. Why is she going there? It doesn't make any sense. It feels like Peele needed to get them there, so he's like, "Well, we're just gonna get them there. We don't have a really excuse. We're just gonna put them there."
Fair enough.
So Pluto emerges from under the car, and he's gonna blow it up. But before he does, Jason kind of moves him back, and as he's moving back, so is Pluto, and Pluto ends up moving right into
the fire.
Yeah,
I mean, like, I'm surprised they didn't think he was going to blow up the car. When I saw that, I'm like, he's definitely going to blow the car up. Like, there's a flaming car just right there, and then he disappears from underneath the car. Like, yeah, that kid is definitely trying to kill you guys.
And as soon as Pluto goes into the fire, Red comes out and grabs Jason and takes him to the tethered world, to which Adelaide follows. And when she gets there, she confronts Red. and Red starts to talk to her. We find out who the Tethered are. The Tethered were created by the U.S. government. They were there to control the population. It failed, so they abandoned them underground, and they were trapped, and they could do nothing but mimic the actions of their counterparts in the real world. They ended up going mad, and Red, she was different. She could dance. She could talk. So she became the leader, and she organized this escape. So my question to you is, does this twist make sense?
What twist?
This twist that these are people that were underground.
Oh, all underground? I thought it was weird, a little bit weird, because I'm like, usually once the government fails at something or you fail a science experiment, you usually kill everything after that. So it's weird that they have them live in. And
I really don't like this twist. I think this twist is this is the worst scene in the movie.
Yeah.
And maybe I can explain why with an example. Mm-hmm. So let's say you marry someone from I lived in New York, and I married someone from Los Angeles, and I came and moved to LA. How would my tethered person come to LA?
No idea. That's a very good question.
What happens to the people that live in this area that immigrated to that area?
Oh, yeah. Or what about people that came from a different country?
That immigrated, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Or traveled or on vacation.
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing, right? That when Red is giving her speech to her family, she talks about how, like, when you married your prince, I was forced to marry Abraham. Mm-hmm. Right? You have these great kids, but I have these, like, devils and monsters.
Yeah.
So I just don't understand it. It doesn't make any... It's like, the twist is interesting, but it's not... It's not really makes sense from a plot perspective.
Yeah, that's what I thought, too. I didn't feel... Oh, sorry. It didn't feel like it totally meshed. Like, it didn't... One of the problems I find with, like, Jordan Peele, like, for some of his movies, he doesn't, like, this... The plot's good, just closing it, like, just ending it and explaining why. But he'll get... I feel like he'll get there.
Oh, I'm not... I have no worry of it. I'm just... It was a little disappointing. And when I take away from this score, my score of this movie, it will be this third act, and specifically this twist. Yeah. This twist is not good. Mm-hmm. So anyway, they end up fighting, which I find is a very stupid sequence. It's like Red was like toying with her, like, I know what you're going to do, but I don't do it anyway. Mm-hmm. And then she, with a last second decision, Adelaide kills her.
Yeah, turns around and stabs. I'm like, okay, it wasn't like any else skill or anything like that. It was kind of just an easy cop out.
And then we get the final twist of this movie. The family is reunited in the ambulance, and they leave. And we get the flashback back to the night where Adelaide met Red in that funhouse. But what we get this time is Red knocked out Adelaide. And then brought Adelaide to the tethered world, tied her to a bed, and came out herself. So Adelaide, the modern day Adelaide, the adult Adelaide that we've been following this movie, is actually Red.
Yes.
Now, what are your thoughts on this twist?
That explained a lot for me. Like, a lot. Like, it made the movie go from, for me, I was like, this is alright. This could be, like, I was looking at... It really upped the score of the movie. So it explains to me why they sat down and talked, right? Because Red knows what she did. Well, not Red. I guess we'll call her Red. Red knows what she did to Adelaide. So the whole reason why she's uneasy is probably because of what happened. So it explains why she's so protective of her children, because of what she did, a terrible deed to someone, right?
And also the fact that it explains why she didn't talk when she went to her parents. She couldn't talk because none of the untethered could talk, or the tethered could talk. It explains why Red or Adelaide could talk and was the only one. It explains why she lined up her family to explain it, because this was her vengeance.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was good. But I like it explained all the little things in the story, made the story make sense.
Yeah.
And it's a good aspect to the twist. Mm-hmm. I just think there needed to be a better reason why the untethered were there, other than they were a government experiment gone wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
And it was generations ago. It wasn't just like yesterday. It was like generations, and then they went crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't know, that didn't really work for me. So I've got really two questions for you. So the first is, what did you enjoy most about this movie? You liked it. I know you did. What did you enjoy most?
Honestly, it's very good. I enjoyed trying to figure out what was going on. Like, I like those movies that keep you engaged and thinking. I also really liked, like I said at the opening thoughts, I liked how disturbed and uncomfortable I felt. And that's not usually, like, some movies you watch that are like, okay, I'm uncomfortable. And then you're like, no, this movie makes it sucks that I'm uncomfortable. I need to turn this off now. This one is like, you feel uncomfortable, but you still can't stop watching. Like, it's a good kind of feeling. You're like, I like this kind of creep out. This is really good. Like, it gives you more emotion, I feel. Like, I can't put my finger on it, but you know where I'm going with this.
I like that a lot. I would give it the originality.
Yeah.
I really like that. I thought that, like, we've seen movies that are similar to this, where like, but never something like this.
Yeah.
And I really thought Jordan Peele took chances, and I thought the studio gave him good ability to take those chances.
Yeah.
Do you think because this movie will be successful that studios are more likely to take chances on original ideas?
Probably not. I don't think so. I think Jordan Peele they'll let Jordan Peele take chances. I don't think they'll let other actors take chances. Directors, sorry. My apologies.
No worries.
It's like Christopher Nolan, like he can do what he wants because he created the brand. So I feel like this is just Jordan Peele creating his own brand of
I hope that studios get the idea that people want original ideas, even though it's not perfect. No, I'm not going to sit here and say this is a perfect movie. It's not, but I think there's a lot of positives here.
Yeah. No, I would love to have more original ideas. Yeah. It's great.
Did you think this movie was original?
Yeah, I felt it was original. It's not...
If you had to find a comparable movie, what would you find? Because I was trying to think about this. I don't really have one. And you know me, I'm always trying to find comparable movies to things.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. I think maybe it's Clones. I guess I remember we talked about this. Maybe the closest one might be The Island, but
it's
really.
Not even close. I don't say
it's not close. I'm just saying that's the closest one, and it's not even like close at all.
All right, one more question, and then we'll give us our rating. Do you think this is a political? Do you think there's a political message in this movie?
Ooh, that's a good. I haven't thought about the political message. I was still trying to.
I was really thinking about this, and I want to know what your thoughts are. Mm-hmm. I think this is a movie about the rich versus the poor.
Oh, really?
Because you have the rich, the real world, the bourgeoisie, and then the poor, the tethered world, that have nothing, that live in like the unbearable conditions, that are going mad, that are the proletariat. And this is in a lot of ways like a revolution, where the proletariat rises up against the rich. And even think of what they're trying to do. They're trying to create a holding hands from one section of the United States to the other section of the United States, because Adelaide remembers in 1984 when she was watching TV at the beginning of the movie, the first scene in the movie, they're all holding hands from sea to sea for hunger, to unify against hunger, so that everyone could be peaceful. So I feel like that's what they're trying to do. Even though they're killing people in the process, they're doing this to make a point to create a more perfect world, a more peaceful world.
That's really good. I didn't even see it in that way. That's very... Look at you, man. You need to go on.
I'm a politics person, right? I do like politics. I follow it. I see this message. I don't know. You tell me. What do you think?
You gotta go on Wisecrack, because that's really well done. I didn't even think of it that way. I didn't think that deeply into it. I knew I suspected there was a political message, but I didn't think enough about it to try and confirm. But like hearing your thoughts about it, I would agree with that statement.
Is there anything else you want to talk about in this movie?
No, I think you just dropped the mic on everybody. We were
Mic
super
drop?
shocked. Yeah.
Nice, good.
Can I just leave now? Like, how do I say?
All right, so what are you giving this movie out of 10?
I'm gonna give this. Thinking about I was gonna do 7.5, but I think I'm gonna go up to an 8. Just re-talking about it and that political message that she said about it. I really like it, so you upped it for me.
Perfect. I'm gonna go with an 8 on this movie as well. I like this movie a lot, but plot to me is still really important, and I got to take some marks off for that third act. I have to. But the originality, there's a lot of there's more positives than negatives.
Yeah.
And I really liked it. Jordan Peele, just you keep making great movies.
Yeah, I'm very interested in his next work now. Now, like the last 2 movies, I enjoyed, so I can't wait for the next work that he brings out.
Okay. Alrighty. So that's our deep dive into the movie Us.
Yeah.
Make sure you leave some comments on what you think of that movie.
All right.
Okay, let's move
Here
on.
we go.
Okay, Xavier. Last time we did this trivia, you got me pretty good. I still call a little protest under that. I thought there were some really difficult choices, some not really marketable or memorable quotes.
I thought they were memorable. I thought you would know it because you're the movie master, but you barely played well on Disney trivia villains. So
that being said, even though that I feel you were a little harsh for me, I still made my trivia quiz very similar to the trivia quiz I gave you in January. So they are 20 movie quotes. So are you ready for your first quote, Xavier?
Yeah, let's do this. Let's make a fool out of myself.
All right. So I'm going to give you a very famous quote from a very famous movie to start off with.
Can you hide your notes? Like, I can read them. They're so big.
Did you really?
Some of them, yeah. I read the first one.
What's the first one?
I'm not saying.
Okay.
Because what if the guests want to guess it?
All right. So the first quote.
Put the notes away.
These are my Us notes.
Oh, okay, good. Okay.
Are you sure you read a quote?
Maybe. Who knows?
All right. My first quote is very simple. If you build it, he will come. If you build it, he will come. If you build it, he will come.
Build what? The wall? No, I'm just joking.
Any ideas?
No.
If I told you it was a baseball movie, would that help you?
No.
If I told you Kevin Costner was in this movie, would that help you?
No.
Oh boy. It is Field of Dreams.
Yeah, I never would have got that.
Oh.
I never watch. I don't watch baseball movies.
I'm sorry, but that is a classic movie. Was that the quote you thought I read for the first quote? Because that was the one.
Oh, really? Yeah, I was wrong then. I guess I didn't read it.
Okay. Here's another one for you. Let me get this straight. You know her. She knows you, but she wants to eat him, and everybody's okay with this.
She knows what?
It's all right.
Can you repeat it?
Let me get this straight. You know her. She knows you, but she wants to eat him, and everybody's okay with that. With this, everyone's okay with this.
This sounds like I'm thinking maybe Disney.
Ooh, yes, it is a Disney movie.
No, what Disney movie? Obviously, it's animals. I'm thinking. I don't know why. I know it's not A Bug's Life, but I want to say it's so bad. I'm gonna say Finding Nemo.
I'm going to help you out on this one with another hint. Let me get this straight. You know her. One person knows another person. Okay. Mm-hmm. And she knows you. They haven't seen each other in a very long time, these people. But she is very hungry and wants to eat my friend. And everyone's okay with that?
No. Not catching it.
It's The Lion King.
Oh my god!
What's your favorite Disney movie, Xavier?
It's Mulan.
I thought it was The Lion King.
It was The Lion King, but
Okay, just so we're clear, I put a Lion King movie in a quote here just for you. Okay.
Wow, that's amazing. I can't even believe I forgot that.
Okay, next quote. Yeah, but John, if the Pirates of the Caribbean breaks down, the pirates don't eat the tourists.
This is Jurassic World?
You're on the right track, but I'm sorry I can't give that one to you.
Oh.
It's Jurassic Park. John Hammond was dead for Jurassic World.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, my goodness.
And this is the scene when they're talking about, like, their amusement parks always have problems. All right, okay.
Pirates don't eat the people.
All right, I got an easy one for. I hope it's an easy one
Let's
for
see.
you. I thought The Lion King
wrong.
one was gonna be
Here
easy.
we go, baby. Woo!
Sanka, you dead?
Who the hell's Sanka?
Sanka, you dead? Yeah, man.
Was that your Jamaican accent?
I was trying my best, man. I was trying my best.
Is
Yeah.
that the Jamaican bobsled team?
Oh,
movie?
yeah. There you go. What's the name of the movie, though? You got the...
I don't know the name of the movie.
Feel
I
the
just-
rhythm. Feel the ride.
I just say the Jamaican bobsled movie. I don't
Get
know the
on
name of
up.
the
It's
movie.
bobsled time. It's.
Give it to him.
I will give it to you. It's Cool Runnings.
Yeah, I never would have said that. I just know the movie. Some movies I know just based off the actual what happens in the movie.
Okay.
I barely got one. That's like point. Don't put it full one.
No, I'll give you that.
0.5.
You said it was a bobsled movie. I gotta give that to you,
No,
Jermaine.
it's a 0.5. I didn't know the name.
Okay.
But let's be fair here.
I believe you are. Sorry, I'm gonna try this again. I believe you are blushing, Mr. Big Artiste. I can't imagine Monsieur Monet blushing.
Mr. Money.
No, Mr. Big Artiste. I believe you are blushing, Mr. Big Artiste. I can't imagine Monsieur Monet blushing.
I no idea what this movie is. Have I watched this movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, Dave definitely knows because he's trying to point out the answer to you. Give him some hint. Wait, I'll give him a hint.
Okay, here we go. Let's do this, baby.
You jump, I jump.
You jump, I jump. Titanic?
You're not getting it because I'm not giving that to you, but it is Titanic. It is Titanic.
The first time I watched Titanic was in French, so it
Okay.
wasn't properly.
All right. I know I'm asking a lot, but the price of freedom is high. It always has been, and it's a price I'm willing to pay. And if I'm the only one, then so be it. But I'm willing to bet I'm not.
Is this Captain America?
The
First Avenger?
It's not the first Avenger.
Civil War.
It's not Civil War. It's Winter Soldier when he's
Really?
giving that speech. Remember to Hydra's infiltrated shield, and he's sitting there with Falcon beside him, and he gives this speech, and then Falcon asks him, "Did you practice that, or did you come up with it on the spot?"
Really?
No, I did. I would have thought Civil War because of the whole. I thought he said it to Tony when they were fighting in the airport.
Okay. Hello. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Oh my god, I know this freaking movie, and I know. Oh my god, yeah, but I'm having a brain fart for this one. This is the actual one that I'm actually mad that I don't know.
I'm surprised you didn't know the Winter Soldier one. I thought that was the most common line from that movie.
Winter Soldier, I couldn't even remember any quote from Winter Soldier if you asked me, if you pulled that up. I would just know, I just know the premise of what happens in the movie.
I think you need to rewatch it before Endgame. But that's just my thought process.
No, I don't.
All right. Hello,
Has
my name is
nothing to do
Inigo
with Endgame.
Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Is this? I don't know why I keep wanting to say Shrek, but it's not Shrek.
It is not Shrek. It is a movie from a longer time ago, like the 80s.
A giant's in it.
Andre the Giant, to be specific. It's 3 words. One's the. Third one's bride.
The Princess Bride.
Yes, the Princess Bride was
I've
it.
never seen that.
Those keeping score of the 7 questions we've gotten, Xavier's gotten 1 and not gotten 6.
0.5 out of 7.
All right. I need you to get 1, so I'm going to go with this one.
Okay.
I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy, asking him to love her.
Is this The Notebook?
No, it's not The Notebook. It's Julia Roberts who says it.
Yeah, I've never seen a Julia Roberts movie.
It's Notting Hill.
Yeah, I never watched that. Woo!
All right, okay.
Don't worry, the viewers are definitely going to have a better score than me.
I hope so. There is no good and evil. There is only power and those too weak to seek it.
That sounds like Star Wars to me, but I don't know.
All right, I'm going to give you another quote from this movie. I can't not get it to you. Okay, this is a second quote from the same movie. Now, if you two don't mind, I'm going to bed before either of you come up with another clever idea to get us killed. Or even worse, expelled.
Oh, this is Harry Potter.
Which one?
Harry Potter and the... That's so hard, because I can... Worst, killed or expelled, because they almost get expelled in every movie.
Who says this quote?
Hermione.
And at this point, is she friends with these two?
Is it the Philosopher's Stone?
There
the
you
first
go.
one?
Yes, and the first quote I gave you from this movie was Voldemort saying there is a Voldemort quote. So
Yeah.
okay.
My favorite Voldemort quote is Avada Kedavra, where he kills them.
Okay.
Kills people.
Of
He's
all
like,
the
Harry Potter, the boy who lived.
Okay.
I love Voldemort, baby. Woo!
This is an old movie quote, so I don't know if you'll know it, but I'm
Yeah,
going to ask you anyway. Of all the gin joints in all the towns in all the world, she walks into mine.
What is this? Like, I'm just gonna guess Casablanca.
You would be correct.
Really?
You would
Yeah,
be
I actually
correct.
just threw that. I didn't even. I can't believe I got that. I just thought like some old ass. I was like, yo, what is some old ass movie that I could just throw out of here? I was gonna say, I was debating between Casablanca and Gone with the Wind, so I'm glad I said Casablanca.
I picked these. I try to pick easy quotes from old movies. All right, next quote. You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
That. I know this one. Thank you. At least that's one that people would know. Thank you for that. Why don't you open with that one? And it's funny because I literally just watched the movie last week.
If you build it, he will come. Is like one of the most iconic movie quotes of all time.
You never watched the movie.
I can't help you with that.
I would say, oh yeah, this one is Batman: The Dark Knight.
That is correct. Harvey Dent says that.
Yeah.
That is,
and that's my favorite quote ever.
It's a great quote. I
and
know.
I'm like, I want to get it tattooed on me. Not really, but.
All right. I know who I am. I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
I know this one too.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Do I have to wait for everyone to answer? Do you
I think people have had time now. You can go ahead.
Okay. It's Tropic Thunder.
That is correct. You know the character in Tropic Thunder who says that?
Robert Downey Jr.'s character. I couldn't tell you the name.
That's
though.
good enough. So those keeping score at home of the 12 that we've done, Xavier's got 5 right and 7 wrong.
4.5.
All right. You took your first pinch like a man, and you learned 2 great things in your life.
Oh, that's the quote. Uh-oh. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh, sorry. There's more to the quote. I totally lied to you.
Oh.
You
This guy, does he know how to read? We can't
Sorry.
count.
You took your first pinch like a man, and you learned 2 great things in your life. Look at me. Never rat on your friends, and always keep your mouth shut.
Ooh, that's pretty. I think I definitely heard this quote before, and I don't. But I could. Now I'm mad that I don't know this one. Man.
Do you want a hint?
Sure.
It's one of your favorite movies of all time.
So it is Goodfellas.
But you're not getting it. You're getting the wrong on that one because I had to give you the hint.
I wanted to say Goodfellas, but I'm like, is it a kids movie or good? I keep thinking
it's good. It was totally Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Wow.
You second guess yourself, man. I knew it was Goodfellas. I should have said Goodfellas. I'm so mad at myself for that.
That's why. I don't know what I can do. That's one of your look. I put your favorite Disney movie, which I thought what I thought your favorite Disney movie was. I put your favorite mobster movie. I don't know what I can do to help you out.
Hey man, it happens.
It's like I have ESPN or something. My breast can always tell when it's going to rain.
I know this one too.
It's like I have ESPN or something. My breast can always tell when it's going to rain.
I don't know why I keep wanting to say Anchorman, but I know it's not.
Is that your guess?
Yeah.
It is not. Do you want a hint?
Sure.
The Plastics.
Wait. Oh my god, it's Mean Girls.
It is Mean Girls.
Wow. God, I didn't get this one either. That one's. I'm upset about the Mean Girls one. I know for me, probably for other older people they wouldn't like it, but that's like, for my people around my generation, that's like the freaking Breakfast Club to us.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm too old for this shit.
You know what? The funny thing is, I always think this movie of. I don't even think of this. I just think of when, spoiler alert to Game of Thrones, when Clegane just walks away and he's like, F the king and everything. That's what I keep thinking of now when I hear that. This one, I'm not going to know what. I probably won't know. Well, I might know it, but.
It's in 4 movies. I would accept either one because it's this character's catchphrase for all 4 movies.
I'm too old for this shit.
You watch How I Met Your Mother, it's a common line in that movie too, or that TV show too. When they watch this movie, it's one of their favorite movies. Danny Glover is the character who says it.
Why'd you say that, man? Now I know. Is it Lethal Weapon?
It is the Lethal Weapon.
Why did you?
Did you actually know that? Because if you did, I'll give it to you.
I was thinking, honestly, I was debating Lethal Weapon or Indiana Jones. And then I was like,
I'll give it to you.
No,
I'll give that one to you. If you were thinking
it
about it, I'll take it. All right. There are no 2 words in the English language more harmful than good job.
That's not true.
In this movie it was.
The Wolf on Wall Street, that's what I'm guessing.
J.K. Simmons says this line and won an Oscar for this role.
Spider-Man.
It's about drumming.
Whiplash.
Whiplash would have been the right answer.
Yeah, I never watched Whiplash, and that was a newer movie. I'm not a Miles Teller's fan, though.
The list is an absolute good. The list is life. All around its margins lies the gulf.
Pretty Little Liars.
That's not even a movie.
50 Shades of Grey.
I'll give you a hint. It's a 2-word movie, and one of the words is in the quote.
The list. The golf.
The list is the one of the words of the 2-word phrase.
I love the list.
2 words. 1993 movie, Best Picture winner. Holocaust, Spielberg.
Schindler's List?
There it
is. I was meaning to. That's on my Netflix. I have to watch it. It's on my list for the Netflix.
You've never seen that either?
I've been meaning to watch it.
You know what? You gotta give me a list of movies you see, and I'll try to find quotes from those movies.
Yeah, I think that's what we should do. But you're like, I'm not telling you what I'm doing, and you told me on the day of. So
all right. Let's try this one.
My knee hurts.
A man can be an artist in anything, food, whatever. It depends on how good he is at it. Creasy's art is death, and he's about to paint his masterpiece.
40-year-old virgin.
Death? 40-year-old virgin?
Sex was so good you died.
This is a Denzel Washington movie, and if you know me, it's my favorite Denzel Washington movie.
Was it Training Day?
Ew, no, that's probably my least favorite Denzel Washington movie. That'd be like in my number 1 on my bottom 10 Denzel movies.
Oh, wow. Training Day is so good, though.
No, it's not.
You're just a hater.
Creasy is the character he plays in it, if it helps you. Dakota Fanning's in it.
Nope.
Man on Fire?
Never seen it.
My God. Like, that's one of Denzel's best movies.
Never seen it. I told you, I'm not the biggest Denzel fan.
All right, there's 2 quotes left.
Here we go.
Oh, somebody stop me.
That is... Wait. Is that The Mask?
That is The Mask.
Woo!
With Jim Carrey. All right, so you're at 7 right.
How the heck did
12
I get
wrong.
that one for The Mask? I watched that movie and I don't remember a single thing.
All right, last quote. They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom.
There's so many movies that I like that.
I don't know what I can do, man. Like this.
We'll do. Let's go with. They'll never take our freedom. Is that Braveheart?
That is Braveheart.
Oh yeah! What's up, baby?
8 right, 12
I seen
wrong.
Braveheart, baby.
Okay.
I like Braveheart. That's a good movie.
Well, I'm very glad for you, Xavier. You didn't do as bad as you did last time, I think, or you were really close.
I think we're the same. I
Same.
think I did better last time.
You might have, but
Your quotes were better last time.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
In my opinion. What do you guys think? Please comment and tell him he's an idiot.
see how you guys did. I bet you guys will do better than Xavier did. Anyways, that's it for us this week. Next week on the podcast, we'll be talking about Dumbo. We will give our bottom 10 superhero movies. Get ready for some Fantastic Four.
Yeah, buddy. And a lot of the DC movies.
Not
as well.
Shazam, though.
Okay.
Anyway, guys, you guys have a great week. Don't forget to like us on Instagram and on iTunes and on YouTube.
And subscribe and give a comment and say your list of quotes sucked to Mike. So we all know that he needs to change his quotes.
See you guys next week.
Take care now. See ya.